Yo,
Yep.
What's up?
how's everybody? How's everybody? How's everybody?
I'm good. I'm great.
There we go.
How
Over
are
here,
you?
multitask. I am
Father
I
of the
am
year.
multitasking right now. Okay. Trying to get Sesame Street on the TV.
Nice.
Very important.
But
Said-
everybody, sorry for the hiatus. But you boys are back, right, Mama? Say hey. We got my man all the way from the is it the Sunshine State or the
yes,
Orange
it's
State?
Sunshine
But
State.
out there from Florida, we got Cozy. How you doing out there, brother? And please show off the merch. I see what you rocking on your head. Drop the plug.
Oh, the new Sweet Boys Brotherly Love hat, custom. Obviously, DM me if you want one. But I'm good. I'm here. You had a great, nice little day off, you could say. Cleaned the pool. It was sunny. It was hot. Played with the dogs. Got some errands done. Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. And then for those who's been rocking with us for a good little minute, y'all may see a newer face at the bottom. Um, um, Go ahead and introduce yourself with the bold name of NFL Masala.
What's up, guys? Or first of all, thank you, Cozy and Coach. As how I say it, Namaskar, Rakshak from NFL Masala here. And, and I just like you two guys, I am a co-host of another podcast called NFL Masala with my other co-host, who is a Packers fan, in which we all talk about the latest happenings in the NFL with a little bit of spice.
I love it.
So that mean this I'm gonna get double the spice between you and Cozy.
Oh yeah, it's gonna get spicy. I'm still trying to figure out the Instagram thing right now, so you guys just chat it up real quick.
This is trial and error on the IG with the new StreamYard update, but we'll get it right. But for those who have been living under a rock for the past couple of days, the NFL draft just happened not too long ago. And I hate to say it, on paper, the Birds look very scary. There's a couple teams that actually look scary. But we'll get into before the draft, as always, actually not even before, the day of the draft. GM and acting mayor of Philadelphia has extended AJ Brown, $96 million extension with 84 mil being guaranteed. So Howie basically told Philly media and gave him the middle finger up and said, "We're not trading him. All your pre-written articles, y'all could go ahead and trash him now. He's here until 2029." With Dak being the new guy on the group, like, let us know what your thoughts are, man.
Yeah. First of all, this is the reason why the Eagles have a well functioning front office and a god in Howie Roseman. Like the fact that he was knowing fully well that yes, we signed Skinny Batman, aka Devontae Smith, aka the Slim Reaper, aka the guy that we jumped over the Giants in the 2021 NFL draft, aka the 2020-2021 / Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama. But the fact that like Howie Roseman was able to get this as a priority, knowing full well that we have somewhat of a window to get to the Super Bowl and win it with Jalen Hurts. We needed to keep our weapons on a long term, and the fact that we got AJ Brown extended for I believe a 3-year deal, 3-year, 84 million guaranteed with 96 million in total. That just shows the intelligence and the foresight of what Howie Roseman does. And I mean, I'm just happy that we're extending it, that we extended Swole Batman for sure. And for all the Philly media, this is why I don't keep up with WIP. This is why I don't keep up with Jacket Sports or all that. And I do have something, so please bear with me for a bit. This for any Philly sports media that's wanting to throw away AJ Brown, I recommend something from Amazon. It's called the Shredder. I think you can get this for like what, $19 or $20. Prime delivery, by the way. It'll save you all the energy because it's useless. It is useless. That's all I could say. I'm happy that we got Swole Batman in. And Cilio, to quote the great one, The Rock, one of my favorite professional wrestlers of all time, know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni.
Cozy, how we feeling, man? We got Swole Batman until 2029.
I personally think it's great. Obviously, I love AJ Brown. I bought the jersey. I'm a supporter. My thing too is it's not only the fact that we extended AJ Brown, which at first I was like, why did we give him so much money? You know, I feel like paying people so much, not so soon, isn't the best thing to do necessarily. But then I thought, then I saw the contract breakdown. I'm like, okay, it's really just $29.5 million a year. It's nothing crazy. But from a strategic standpoint, it messes up the landscape for every other wide receiver on the market, not on the market, but every other wide receiver looking for a contract. So we win because AJ Brown stays longer till he retires. AJ Brown gets paid. And like we talked about before, you already know how he's like giving him all this money now. But at some point in a couple years, he's going to be like, hey, listen, my guy, we're going to need to do a little restructure. Kick some of that down the road. You're still going to get paid, but we got to clear some cap space this year. So that helps us out too. And it also messes up the market for, opposing guys like Justin Jefferson in our conference. Jamar Chase, someone who we might be playing against a lot in the Super Bowl if that team stays healthy. And, of course, the divisional rival, CeeDee Lamb. So it messes up the landscape for a lot of our rivals in terms of the wide receiver market, but it also helps us in the long run. I'm a fan. I love the guy.
Oh, it definitely helps. But if you look literally within the division, CeeDee Lamb is due for a payday. And then you forget you got that nice little dude in Washington, Terry McLaurin. So the fact that you're
yes,
paying
big Terry.
AJ, you're paying AJ basically 32 million, and you reset the wide receiver market. So as we make fun of it, it was smart for the Giants to go ahead and take Neighbors in the first round. They get somebody on a rookie contract. They don't got to worry about, 5 years down the road as far as actually giving them the back. So it's definitely Howie in a way has finessed the league to now forcing them to pay some guys. It's helping, players like Brandon Ayuk now, who's probably going to look close to, that 32 million and up. Same thing, Jamar Chase. Cincinnati's definitely going to have to break the bank for him. Same thing with Justin Jefferson. And then, you look at, was it Jalen Waddle out there in Miami? It's smart. Howie waited till after Amon St. Brown got paid and was like, that's what Amon St. Brown is going to get. All right, let's go ahead and make sure the other Brown get a nice little bag too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And one more thing I wanted to add. I mean, like what you and Cozy said, just spot on with like other wide receivers with other teams like trying to break the bank for like those big contracts. I think like recently, I mean, the 5th-year options have to now be picked up, which I think was like already done for like Chase, Jefferson. I don't know about CeeDee Lamb, but I do know that, yeah. And it's confirmed with Jalen Waddle. Like he did, I think like a couple of hours ago or like during the weekend, he did have his 5th-year option picked up. So spot on with that, y'all.
So a lot of guys had their 5th-year option. One person didn't have their 5th-year option. That's QB, Justin Fields out there in Pittsburgh. But that's a topic for a whole nother day.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So to get this things going, let's get into a little draft recap. Of course, the Eagles had originally started off with what five or six draft picks, and then the magician himself was in the kitchen cooking, and somehow pulled out a couple of stops. Thank God for the Atlanta Falcons for changing the draft board a little bit.
A correction on that. I want to say for the Falcons, like they committed draft seppuku. By draft seppuku, there wasn't that much defensive talent that can go in the first round. I get it. But in what universe do you go Michael Penix Jr. as the fourth QB?
8th overall.
It makes no sense. Just when you signed Kirky Kirk and who's now joined the Southern Funky Bunch for a 4-year, $100 million deal. I mean, I think I don't know how much like Kirk Cousins is getting paid. I could care less about that. But the fact that you drafted a QB just when you signed gave Cousins a 4-year deal. Cousins is good. I mean, why? This is why we have Howie Roseman as a general manager. He knows what his mistakes were, and he's rectified it for the most of it. And I'm happy that we have a GM like that.
Now, on the back end, though,
Yep.
Penix could be getting the Jordan Love treatment. We've seen Green Bay do it twice now, and that's panned out kind of well. Drafting Aaron Rodgers to sit behind Brent Favre, and then drafting Jordan Love to sit behind Aaron Rodgers. So let's see how this train goes. Drafting Michael Penix to sit behind Kirk Cousins a little bit. Hopefully they can take turns sharing an ACL or an Achilles. But we'll see how this whole process goes. But started off, of course, with the 22nd pick in the 2024 NFL Draft. Surprisingly, without having to trade up with all of these speculations that every media outlet was saying, the number one corner fell straight to Philly, without giving up any draft capital at all. Dak, how are we feeling about picking up the boy from Toledo?
I'm just amazed that we were able to land him at 22. Thank you, NFL. Thank you very much. I want to give a special hand to the rest of the 21 teams. So let's give them a quick round of applause for that. And then, but I mean, like getting the number one corner like in the first round, in the first round, Howie Roseman. I mean, I don't think that the last time an Eagles drafted a first round corner, that was in 2002 or something like that. And guess who that man is? Mr. Lockdown himself, Lito Shepherd.
Shout out Lito Shepherd.
The fact that we were able to get him, and not only that, like seeing his ability, he could play outside, he could play zone. This is beautiful right there. I don't need to go into more of the stats. I leave it up to you two guys for that.
I'm good. At first, I was skeptical because I really wanted Terry and Arnold. I thought Arnold played against tougher competition, but at the end of the day, every analyst had Quignon as their number one guy. So it's like, okay, he can't be that much worse. You know what I mean? And if it goes to the next level, there's no way he's gonna fucking drop off and become what's his name? I don't even remember his name anymore. Sidney
Jones, second round pick from UW.
I forgot all about him. It just flashed into my head. But so there's no way his talent or his drop off in not talent, but production is going to drop off that much. And even if it does drop off a little bit, he's still light years better than Bradbury and what we have. So I'm very content with the pick. I'm happy we got it. I like the way it worked out. I like the way the entire draft worked out. I'm happy.
It was a decent pickup. A lot of people have speculation about, Quignon Mitchell coming from a small school. But then, you got the godfather, the GOAT, I would say, of college football himself, Nick Saban, talking about how they were trying. I think Nick Saban may have probably put Alabama in sanctions potentially, but he said they tried to have Quinyon Mitchell enter the transfer portal to come to Alabama. And the fact that, Quinyon himself was basically stating, regardless of how much money they're offering or was given out there, that, he trusted the people, the relationships, he valued the relationships a little bit more, was like, that was key. And then I can't remember who told him at the Senior Bowl, but if you go back and look at the Senior Bowl, Quinion lined up against all of the first round
Roman Wilson
wide
and Ricky
receivers.
Pearsall. Yeah.
And people forget Marvin Harrison Jr. did get locked down while he was at Ohio State by that boy as well. So even though he was at, a small town school, talent is talent. As he said, the reason he didn't go to a big, program Power 5 was because of his grades. He was good enough to still follow in a NCAA clearinghouse, which had a 2.0, but apparently, certain schools, he didn't probably have like that 2.5 or 3.0 to get in. And that's understandable. But the fact that he did 4 years there, not only did he graduate with a degree, or he will be graduating with a degree, you have a mature young man, somebody who's able to come in and then learn from his role model, big play Darius Slay himself. And then as well, the soapbox, everybody's talking about, he may start over Bradbury, but people forget Bradbury was straight when Fangio was in the house. So, Fangio will get Bradbury back to where he needs to be. Familiar faces are back into that secondary, adding CJ. So give Bradbury some slack, bro. I think we've kind of realized from what happened, Sean Desai overcomplicating the defense a little bit. That may fluster up the play calling and not allowing you to actually, play to your ability. But with Fangio being the godfather of what every NFL defense is running now, he can set Bradbury to where he needs to be set up for success. So I think Bradbury I'm gonna throw it out there. He's on my list as being a starter. Bradbury and Slay will be the starting corners. But yeah, and going with the next one, for somehow reason, we go into round 2, and Howie decides to trade up for, I guess we could call it the Milky Way now. Is that what it is? The secondary is going to be called.
It's the secondary.
Oh my goodness.
Secondary.
Secondary, like milk. We got two milk missiles. This is crazy.
Oh my god.
Pause. But Rack, how we feeling? We get the guy from Iowa, man.
Man, getting Cooper DeJean,
Swiss Army knife.
Getting Cooper DeJean at number 40, like trading up to get him at number 40. No, correction. I'm sorry, it's not Cooper DeJean, it's now Cooper DeJohn. And I mean, like, to getting that Swiss Army knife who can play not only corner but inside zone. He could play nickel in certain positions. He also played safety in Iowa, and he also works with special teams. And I mean, good. I mean, like, what more can you ask of him? I think like Fangio is gonna be like that mad scientist at the back saying, "Oh, I wonder what I could do with this." And you know what? And here's the idea I'm gonna throw out. And I know some people are gonna get mad at me. Go 3 safety look. Go 3 safety look. Hear me out. You got Reed Blankenship, got CJ GJ, and then in that third safety, you could bring Cooper DeJohn in, and then this guy, and you can audible into a nickel package. I don't know if that's like truly thing, which is why I am not a defensive coordinator. I'm just a fan talking about this, but I'm really excited with Cooper DeJean, man. And he is, I mean, to get both, that blows my mind, because all the mock drafts we've done using the Eagles take Cooper DeJean or Kool-Aid McKinstry, but to grab Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, yeah, we had to trade up. How does Mr. Pom Pom Michael Irvin say, "Finger licking good"? That's all I could say, man. I'm just stoked about this pick.
And
I'm
to
good.
answer your question, there actually is a lineup like that. It's going to be your big nickel, where you substitute your average slot corner and you put in a third safety. Sidney Brown kind of played that a little bit last year in that role. But yeah, it's definitely a formation and it falls under that Fangio tree. But Cozy, how are you feeling, man? I don't want to be Captain Obvious, but there's hope that you could play corner.
There is hope that I can play corner. Yes, like after the huddle said, I'm gonna put it back up there real quick. Let's be real. Cooper DeJean it's history in the making. He's breaking the color barrier. We haven't seen this since what, like maybe the 90s, the 80s. When's the last time there was a white corner?
I don't know,
A
Jason.
starting corner.
Outside of Jason Sehorn being the
Sean
big one, but the
Considine.
most. I wasn't going to say Sean Considine. I was going to say who's the dude? Cortland Finnegan, the one who squared up against
Andre Johnson.
Andre Johnson.
He was not white skinned. He was light
Yes, he
skinned.
was. Nah, he was white.
I don't know about that. I don't know. But I not only, like, all jokes aside, which the jokes, don't get me wrong, I'm loving them. But you look at his production, you look what he can do, and it's talent. Skin color aside, the kid is talented. And that's another reason we added him to the roster. Like you guys said, Swiss Army knife. He can go here, he can go there, he can go up here. He can play anything. He can hit, he can jump, as we've seen from his basketball highlights. So, like I said, I think Howie's first two picks knocked him out the park. That's all.
Not even in his basketball highlights. In that basketball highlights, he actually from just vertical dunk in the game. But
he was yamming it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. When the NBA All-Star game come back to Philly, Cooper DeJean, go ahead and be the representative on the NFL side.
Oh man.
I'll take it. Are you sure you don't want Micah Parsons, who can average 20 a game?
Well, they're always going to have at least two. So I would say since we're hosting, Cooper DeJean, go ahead and do it. Unless Nick Sirianni is going to go ahead and suit up and go ball out.
I think they definitely need to bring in Stroud and Parsons after what they've been talking about on their podcast or whatever the last couple of days.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be so great.
The CJ
but yeah.
Parsons show, yeah.
Cooper DeJean is definitely going to be. He's my question mark because if you look at the secondary right now, like I said, Slay and Bradbury are my starters. CJ is definitely going to be the starter. The question mark is going to be: does Reed Blankenship lose that job to a rookie?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I definitely don't think Reed loses it. I think they intertwine, or they put him in they put DeJean in like the nickel or something and let him play and see or they'll gauge it for certain plays. Like if Reed gets winded or something and comes out of the game and DeJean goes in, well, they're gonna look at it and be like, okay, all right.
Or does Sidney Brown roll into a starter once he's fully healthy, and Cooper DeJean becomes that utility role to where he can line up as a nickel, but he can play outside. It's Fangio's having a lot of toys to play with because of that versatility a lot of these guys are going to have. You look at the free agency, you have CJ DJ, who started off with the Saints as a nickel corner, but then can play safety. Then you have, I can't remember the cat's name. I want to say Bryce Hall, but the cat we signed from the Raiders, who's a way better. No, it's another Hall.
Okay. I'll tell you right now.
He comes over from the Raiders and he plays safe nickel as well, but he's a little bit younger and he doesn't have those health concerns. And then having Isaiah Rodgers reinstated finally. He hasn't played much slot throughout his NFL career, but the fact that is a possibility of him playing slot. Or do you consider giving Slay now a slot role? And you have potentially, what's buddy's name? Quinyon Mitchell play in the outside. The fact that you have now this talent that can literally line up against the tight end and possibly like these dudes down one on one. The versatility, in my opinion, was the theme for this defense, just because of everybody, including their third round pick. The guy straight out of Houston out here, Jalix Hunt out of Houston Christian, getting picked up. What rack? Did you see anything, or did you even know who this cat was prior to the draft?
If I were to be honest with you, I did not know who Jalix Hunt was. I think I only knew about him like the minute he was drafted. It was I felt it was a bit of a confusing pick, and I thought at the third round you could have gone linebacker and gone someone like a Cedric Gray or Peyton Wilson, who I believe was still on the board. But getting an edge rusher that at that spot and getting someone that we don't know, I'm not 100% sure about this pick. However, from what we've understood, he's a Vic Fangio guy, and Fangio loved his tape. And if he's able to work with it, I'm cool with it. But if not, then I mean, it's like a dart we threw at a board. It's either gonna hit or miss. So I mean, let's just hope for the best for Jelix Hunt, who I think he got my admiration when the first minute when Howie Roseman calls him,
"What's up, Big Pippin?
What's up, Big?"
The second I saw that clip, I was like, I'm sold. I might buy the jersey.
Bro, Howie was caught off guard.
So he didn't know what to do. Him and when Sirianni took the phone and everyone was yelling, and he's like, Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And everyone's going crazy in the background. I would have been like, hey, man, we'll call you back later. That's crazy.
Same thing with you, Cozy. Did you know who this cat was before,
I had no idea who he is. But obviously, like most Eagles fans, the second something happens, we're like, let's do all the research we can and figure out who this guy is. And one of the things I saw online was that someone complained about a certain troll from a certain fan base. I'm not going to say who they are, but he said that he's undersized. He said he's already undersized. Now, he's 6'4". Jalix Hunt is 6'4", 252. Another player in the NFL, 6'4", 243, Will Anderson. Do people say Will Anderson's undersized? Do people say Will Anderson is undersized? I haven't heard that. What about this guy? 6'4", 252. The same exact stats. Is TJ Watt undersized? No? Okay. What about this guy? 6'3", 245. You would look at him and say, oh, he's smaller than Jalix. If Jalix is undersized, that guy must be really tiny. That's Micah Parsons. So undersized is a dumb argument, but the good argument to have is he was a safety that converted into linebacker / edge, which is better for us because he has the eyes of a safety. He's not just looking at coverage, he's looking as a ball hawk. You can drop him into coverage, and guess what he's doing? He's playing, he's looking. He's doing everything we want him to do. That sounds like a home run hit right there. That just sounds like a great depth piece that can potentially grow into something good. I'm a fan of it.
So, just to reiterate what Cozy said, Jalix Hunt was a safety his freshman year at Cornell. For those of y'all who weren't privileged enough to go to a college that wasn't community, Cornell is an Ivy League school. So on the top of that, you have a young man that was smart enough to go to a prestigious program, because not only did he go on a football scholarship, he still needed to have the grades to go to his program. So you're looking at somebody who's smart, and then as well who's able to put on at least 40 pounds of muscle after he converted from a safety to a edge outside linebacker. On the Eagles website, he's listed as an outside linebacker. As everybody said in the media, this was one of Fangio's pick. I think this one was probably something Fangio was looking at even when he was at Miami.
Hmm.
He fits. If I had to compare it to a Miami guy, he reminds me of, or his built and skill level is going to potentially be close to, what's it, Jordan Phillips, the outside linebacker out
Jalen
there.
Jalen Phillips.
Jalen
Yeah.
Phillips.
Jalen Phillips.
Before you said it, I was thinking Jalen Phillips. That's why I was like, are you gonna say it? Are you gonna say it?
Mhm.
But the only negative I could think of this is I'm getting Davion Taylor vibes just because he's still green behind the ears as far as being a defensive edge. Remember, Javion Taylor, when he was in Colorado, that was his first time playing football, and the Eagles drafted him and win the third round. But the
Uh,
thing was Davion Taylor injury. But with Jalix Hunt, I think it's not. It's now. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm just saying it's giving me that type of vibes, just because he's going to be a project player. He's not going to be immediate starter because he's still coming behind Nolan Smith, BG, and then he still got Josh Sweat, and then we still got, was it
Bryce Huff,
Zach Brown, Bryce Huff, and then not Zach
Zach
Brown.
Braun.
Yeah, Zach Braun is another edge. So this is a guy that's going to be able to probably see what, mama, at least what, 5 snaps as an outside linebacker. Which, that's decent, but I can see him earning a starting spot off the special teams. If he's out there getting it and nailing it, special teams is where this guy is probably going to get his name eventually called to potentially get more in the rotation.
True. And another thing I would also like to add is, like, if he does well in the training camps, especially during the preseason, maybe if Fangio decides to pull up some kind of crazy blitz package and he wants to put in Jalix Hunt just to see how he can fit into that scheme, maybe we could see that. But it'll most likely be like a preseason debut to see what his projection will be if he were to take over. Knock on wood for all that.
What up, Todd?
Yeah,
What up, Todd?
definitely going to be very interesting. I cannot wait for rookie minicamp because we're going to get them little clips. Come
Oh,
here,
yeah.
mama. I hope this is birth control for you, Cozy.
It's not.
But once again, next round, Howie's constantly trading back, and he picks another guy from Clemson,
Well, hold on.
equivalent to.
Before we do that, can we talk about how nerve-wracking it was whenever it's just like the Eagles were getting ready to be up and it just said trade alert.
Oh
trade
my
alert,
God.
Trade alert. Trade alert. And it was he just kept trading.
I think that upset the kid right now. I think the baby's crying because of the trading, because of that trade trauma that Howie Roseman put us all under.
She's reliving day 3. She's like, no, please, no more trades, no more trades.
Speaking for us, I get it. I feel the same way too. I was live stream on IG saying like, "Oh, who are the Eagles gonna pick?" At the trade, I'm like, "Are you freaking kidding me?"
I was watching Rock on live stream because I was at work. So I'm like, yo, I gotta watch your live stream, like go like so I can see the pick is. And I'm just sitting there for what, like half an hour on the stream. Trade back, trade back, trade back, trade back. I was like, I'm never gonna get the pick.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was at a flag football event. Of course, our hometown Eagles Nest. We had a tournament going on that Saturday. So, a bunch of us guys, of course, all Eagles fans out there playing a good little flag football for charity. So we were between games and halftime looking at our phones, and that was the first one we saw was Will Shipley. And for a minute, I had to think about it. It mirrors what we have in our running back room. You look at Saquon, somebody who can, you know, beat you in the run game, but as well, don't sleep on him running a wheel route because he can catch as well. Will Shipley is one of those guys. And then the next thing that, popped into my head, what just happened this spring, the NFL adopted the XFL's kickoff rule, and Will Shipley can do kick return. So as you're seeing guys, Paris Campbell, Will Shipley now, Britton Covey. These are guys that can potentially explode with this new kickoff rule. With this new kickoff rule.
Yeah.
But this is another guy who can take that opportunity and learn from, Saquon Barkley because of that same skill set. I think I saw a Cowboys fan put it on X or Twitter, whatever we calling it. He's the next Christian McCaffrey. Well, that's the case, and know what? I'll take that comparison because he said that before the player even got drafted. So that's a unbiased decision, and I'm gonna go ahead and count that one.
Nice.
I'll take it. Sounds good to me.
Rat, how you thinking, man? Will Shipley from Clemson.
When I saw the pick, I was kind of perplexed, saying like, okay, I thought this is something. I mean, I was still hoping we could try and get like a linebacker, like a good quality linebacker. But looking into more of Will Shipley and seeing what we currently have in our running back room, Howie Rose. I mean, you just said it perfectly. Howie Roseman will always look at someone around that who can give you some good good rushing yards, who can also be a great pass catcher and a blocker. And I think we all heard the news that the resident giant killer Boston Scott, he's now signed with the LA Rams. So I want to say thank you for his service, Boston Scott. And I think and I also want to give a shout out to Helene. Like today, like this afternoon, she sends me a message showing like Boston Scott doing like a dance video. I'm like, oh my god, I was so upset about that. But
Where did he do that?
Oh no, he was actually freestyling to it.
Oh,
and me as a dancer, I'm like, oh my goodness. But yeah, that's like out of topic anyway. But Will Shipley, I did see his tape, what they showed a little bit. Definitely he is a yak monster. But I mean, he definitely has like that yak ability and the speed, which I really like. I know that I think like in his collegiate year, he almost had like in his 3 years in Clemson, he nearly reached like 2,000 rushing yards, I believe. 2022 was like his best year. I'm not sure if that's the same. I think it's Will Shipley or if it's Anaya Smith. Someone check me up on that. But I think like
it's a nice.
Okay. All right, good. Yeah. Thank you for correcting me on that. But like, I think like with Will Shipley, he'll definitely help you out. I'm imagining him helping us on the short route, on the short yard rushing, especially if it's like first and goal, second and goal, like second and 5 at the opponent 5-yard line. You could just wheel route him or HB toss, HB option, all that. I think it definitely helps, but I see him as a running back 3 option if I were to like add like have a wider understanding of like our depth chart. He'll be a running back 3 at best, and he'll see like limited snaps but mostly on special teams. That's what I'm thinking.
So
Cozy,
I looked up Shipley's stats, and it says he exited after 3 years in the top 10 in school history in total touchdowns with, it says 31 rushing touchdowns, which if you think about it, that's 10 touchdowns a year. It's pretty good for a running back.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? He had 10 100-yard rushing games, and he had 4,253 all-purpose yards. And then it says 904 kickoff return yards. So he's definitely not a slouch. He's definitely not like one of these, big name guys that go in the first 2 rounds. Like he's not like a Zeke coming out of college or Derrick Henry or Najee Harris or one of those guys. But from what we see, he definitely gives some production. And to have some production like that as an RB3, or who knows, even by the end of the year, could be an RB2. We don't know yet. Still not sold on the Kenny Gainwell train. Just saying. So I'm excited for that. And like you said, like he brings so much more than just running. He does special teams. He does returns. We have like 3, 4, or 5 guys that can do returns now.
Take your poison.
Just fresh legs. Before it was like we were fighting between 2 guys and we were afraid which one was going to do what. So now we have a plethora of return guys. They might fight for it. They might be like, let me get it today. Let me get this one. This is my home state. Let me get the return on this one.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Braylon Allen, which I was banging the table for, but
the thing you put on
I'm
the wall.
happy we got him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or even Audric Estime. Like, I've been hearing so much about Audric Estime. I'm like, what's so special about this guy? Like, but I think like with Will Shipley at that approach, I think that this is where he'll go, like, on that.
I definitely think he might have as RB3. I think it's possible he finishes the year with over 300 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's possible. I think he's going to make the most of his touches, which obviously I don't assume are going to be a lot. But like I said, this is a whole new regime.
Yeah.
We might use him a lot differently, and they might not like Gainwell as much. We already know Barkley's the guy, but I think Shipley can come in and definitely make a name for himself. If not him, then the other guy we got from Georgia. I don't know if we're gonna go into the
UDF. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna go into those yet, but I just want to just throw that out there. I think that's a good signing too.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. Was passing the baton to the wifey.
Of course, of course.
But before I get my 2 cents, shout out to everybody that's rocking with us right now. I'm not sure if these numbers are correct, but what I'm seeing is crazy, mad crazy. So I appreciate everybody. Hey, like and subscribe, share to your friends, rewatch it on your drive to work, or listen to it on your drive to work.
Comment,
the
talk
support,
shit, whatever.
the support, definitely come in the chat and chop it up with us as well. My boy Todd, Will Shipley, going to come in and put in the work to get better. He's a true pro.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, can we talk about all the guys Howie have drafted that we've drafted? These are guys that are going to come in and have some type of leadership role at their collegiate level. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at of course Quinion, you look at
Cooper
Cooper.
DeJean.
You look at I don't want to get ahead, but you look at what's buddy from Michigan,
Keegan.
Trevor Keegan.
Trevor Keegan. These are
his
guys
highlight.
that were in the
Man.
face. Hey, I cannot wait for the eye paint. You thought Aiden Hutchinson had that lock?
Woo!
Bro, Trevor Keegan game day face paint may be a whole. Ooh, what is he gonna do for Brazil?
Oh
Ooh.
my God.
See, but
See,
Will Shipley. As I'm looking at this roster, and you look at what Philly is doing this past offseason, we've added Kellen Moore, who's came from that Boise State tree. We've bring Fangio back to Philly, who I feel is gonna be the Jimmy Johnson or the Jim Johnson equivalent. Like, I'm just here to be a defensive coordinator. I'm not worried about being a head coach.
Yep.
Kellen Moore is, I think, bringing guys into the team that are close to skill set. So when it comes to rotating out, Kellen Moore likes to run, double tight end personality. But as well, I would be surprised if we come out with a 2 backfield. What I've always been asking for. You could potentially see, a Gainwell and a Shipley on the field at the exact same time. People forget Shipley can play wide receiver as well. So the fact that our roster, you're going to, as an Eagles fan, you can literally fantasize about potentially seeing Will Shipley and Saquon Barkley in the backfield, and Will Shipley motions out into to the slot, and now you're getting the motion that everybody's been asking for. But it can mess defenses up now because if you see 2 running backs on the field, that affects your personnel. Then out of nowhere, Will Shipley's lined up at wide receiver. Now, you have somebody come out the box and cover Will Shipley, or does the safety now come down and you're switching the defense up a little bit in coverage? It's as a coach, this is things like you're foaming at the mouth of what you can do, of like how deadly you can be with the skill set out here, because Gainwell as well can have the same skill set. People forget Gainwell did line up when he at receiver when he was out there at Memphis. So if you look at the running back room, you're having Saquon, you're having Shipley, you're having Gainwell, and then you got a thumper I can't remember the cat's name, but the
Milton.
dude we signed. No, not the
Milton.
undrafted free agent. Another guy we had picked up.
Oh,
Lou
it's not
Nichols?
Anais Smith.
Hold on.
Anais Smith.
No, not Anais Smith. This is it's not Lewis Nichols.
Oh, the other dude who's like it's like wide receiver running back. I forget his name. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, he was a what was it, a futures contract hold that we end up getting.
Johnny Wilson.
No, Johnny Wilson's he's a draft pick here.
Wait, who are you talking? Oh, you're talking about from before, a futures guy.
I think I know who you're talking about. I'm still trying to remember that name.
I was not thinking of the same person as you, for the record, because I was gonna say one of the dudes we drafted, they were listed like as a wide receiver running back. I think it was Aeneas, and then
Aeneas Smith. And
then Sirianni said in the press conference they're going to use him as a running back.
And Anais Smith is actually the guy who supersedes
Tyrion Davis Price.
That's who it was from San Fran.
I got you, bro.
Another running back we took from San Francisco that hopefully this time we can utilize, because we definitely didn't use Trey Sermon when we got from San Fran.
Don't even bring up Trey Sermon.
Because that's right. Because Price is wearing 35 this year, but Price is more of a thumper. So
6'1", 219. And then, like I said, the other dude, the undrafted guy that we signed, where is he?
Milton is
from Georgia,
in my opinion.
Yeah, the Georgia dude, Milton. He's 6'2", 220.
But let's not get ahead. Trust me, I'm gonna get there. Okay. You can't just rush into it, Cozy. You gotta,
it's called foreshadowing. I'm foreshadowing.
No. We're in foreplay right now. All right.
Okay.
All
right.
But speaking of it, once again, an hour and a half from where I live at. I don't know what happened with me living in Houston, but I'm familiar with J-List Hut because literally Houston Christian used to be called Houston Baptist. And
HBU. No.
Yep, and that school is literally 5 minutes from my office. So I'm frequently on that campus because I do recruit there. But as well, Anais Smith,
J-List Hunt walked by you one time.
He probably have.
I think.
Excuse me, sir. You probably saw him. You were like, that kid would be great on the field.
I didn't know you're from Target. You're from the Houston area, Coach. I actually didn't know that.
I live in Houston. I'm not from Houston. I live in Houston.
I mean, originally, I'm originally from the Dallas area, but now I'm in Albany, New York.
I know you're hating that winter out there, that cold.
Oh no, I actually enjoy something called seasons, which is never shown in Dallas, Texas, of all places. Which
I moved to Florida to get rid of seasons. I just want rain.
I'm embracing upstate New York. That's for sure.
It's great to wake up and you look at that thermostat and it's 80 degrees outside and you're like, I don't have to cool off or I don't have to heat up my car. Or you're at Home Depot and you see them putting out the salt and the shovel and you're like, what?
Oh my God, bro.
It's going to be 90 degrees out here.
The salt was like the worst thing in the world because, just snow in general for me because I grew up in the Northeast.
Yeah.
So I grew up with snow and blizzards and all that. I had to deliver I had a paper route when I was like 13, 14. I don't even know. It might have been younger. And I remember one time the plow plowed the whole road and all the snow was on the sidewalks. And I had to walk through 3 feet of snow. And I'm already short. So when I was younger, I was shorter. So I'm just like trenching through snow to deliver like 75 newspapers. And I was just like, I hate this. This is horrible. That's my childhood trauma right there, guys. Now you know a little piece of me now.
But as well, I'm always working. But as well, we talk about Anais Smith, 5'9", 195. This guy can literally.
No, the reason why I do this.
Let's just say this.
I like Anais Smith.
He only had one drop last year.
No, I like Anais Smith, the player. I meant
one
that.
drop.
I know. Okay, like correction on this one. Like, I love Anaya Smith, the player. I just don't like the school where he went to. I dislike Texas A&M because I went to Texas Tech University, Reckham Tech, class of 2016, and I mean, I'll always crap on UT Austin, horns down. Aggies suck, Bears suck, and Baylor sucks is all that. But yeah, I mean, like that's just like my school bias. But Anaya Smith, definitely a great pickup on this one.
Oh, y'all really out here like gangs, but if we gonna go colleges, hey, picks up, man. UTEP, let's go.
UTEP, hey, yo, hello.
But Anaya Smith, somebody who was, if I'm correct, top 4 in all-purpose yards this past year. Last year, he only had 1 drop. Let's hear that again. He only had 1 drop all season. And then this is the guy who was my fault. He was top 4 in missed tackles. So if you don't get this guy after the first initial contact, he's probably going to get 10 to 15 more yards after the initial catch. This is my probably favorite for wide receiver 3, just because 80% of his snaps came from the slot. So the fact that you paid Devontae, you paid AJ, you let them dudes stay on the outside and get busy, and you let Anais just be in the middle. And I'm talking drag routes. I'm talking quick outs. I'm talking, this guy can he can be the second check down outside of, Saquon when it comes to the play calling. I'm literally curious just to see what is Kellen Moore is going to do with this offense. Is he going to change it a little bit based off of the personnel? Are we still going to see a 2 tight end set and you have Anaya Smith line up in the backfield in like an H-back role? I'm not talking running back. I'm talking more of a flex to where you're getting these guys in a motion and you can now fake the jet sweep. But that's just where my mind is going, looking at the personnel so excited we're getting. And I'm like,
I think it's just ridiculous. And I was like reading this stats. I mean, and just for this, when he was used at Texas A&M, 2,407 receiving yards, 405 rushing yards, 180 receptions, 23 total touchdowns during his 5 years with the Aggies. And I forgot to mention, he added 1,196 yards and 2 scores as a returner.
Okay.
What are you supposed to do?
Like I said, once again, the owners somehow were like, know what? We're going to change the kickoff rule. And Pittsburgh set the tone by going in and signing Cordell Patterson, which was a kick return monster. And then Howie basically told the league, hold my beer. And loaded up on guys that can literally we can see it. I have to refresh myself on the kickoff rule, but if I'm correct for the XFL, you're allowed 2 return men back there. So you can literally see Anais and Will Shipley back there as your return man. Yeah. Either way the ball goes, you can't kick away from one person. It's like how D-Jax was back there as a kick returner. You wanted to kick away from him. Who are you kicking the ball away from? Because the XFL kickoff rule is you have to kick to somebody.
100%.
Pick someone.
Pick your poison.
So Cozy, how you feeling about Anaya Smith? Like, what I know you probably have done some research, like that, some film, some tape. Like, what are you looking at?
I think, you guys pretty much said everything. I think he's just another little, if you want, like a Swiss Army knife, but on offense this time, that we're going to use in so many different ways. And it's just, I think the more we talk about this draft and the more we go into each player, the more I'm just like, God damn it, Howie. Howie Harper over here just knocking it out the park. Every pick is just, it's like I feel like in drafts past, we've had picks that were like this could be a risky pick, or this could be like this pick. But it's like it seems like every pick is calculated for something
Yep.
that's going to benefit us in some way. Like you said, the whole kick returning thing. It's like they switched the rules, and Howie was like, I knew this was going to happen. I already had this draft plan in mind of like who I'm getting, and I have these guys on my board, which people have said it before. Howie puts guys on his board that like not many people think to put on their board. And
That's just insane.
it's just like you guys said, like you could put him here, you could put him there, you could put him here, and it's like he could be dangerous. So another great pick from Howie that I don't think it's gonna be like some like wow world beater like Hall of Fame player, but like definitely could be the Nelson Aguilar or Mac Hollins to like some games. Like he just comes through and makes the right play at the right time, and it helps us win a game, and that's all that matters.
Now remember, Howie did trade back. he originally traded out of the pick 132, traded back, and it ended up getting Anaya Smith. So from 132 to 152, there's 20 other teams that passed up on this man. But before we keep going, got to give a shout out to King Kincaid, and then of course the other Swoop Boy affiliated Poppy Rico. They got kids. One's at volleyball, and the other one is I think Lil Lex is at baseball. So these are the OGs. They keep it going. Appreciate y'all hopping in the chat, bro. What was your favorite player that the Eagles selected from the? Are we talking this draft or just overall drafted?
let's
overall drafted. We'll come back to that one.
Yeah, let's circle back to that question till we finish the draft on this, because maybe there's somebody that we haven't said yet. Maybe there's somebody we didn't say yet.
Oh, good segue. Good segue. So, question: shed some thug tears. Started releasing them clips. I ain't gonna lie, Mr. Larry had me crying a little bit. I was a little skeptical about picking this young man, but then as well, I had to do some more research, look at the film, and then look at some guys in comparison in the NFL. And once again, the Howie has listened to the fan base. Howie is going against the trend. And at pick 155, we've selected Axeman Jr., another Clemson Tiger, Jeremiah Trotter Jr. Folks, I'm sorry, I do not have the clip of the phone call that was made. I will definitely do better on that one. But Rack, let me know who are your thoughts on getting JTJ.
I mean, I'm so happy that first of all, I want to congratulate Jeremiah Trotter Jr. for getting drafted. First of all, even though he had to wait until round 5, but the fact that the Eagles were able to grab him, that is a legacy pick. The legacy continues, and I mean, like, he could play. He has that. He's almost exact. I want to say like, people are gonna downgrade on him because of the size, right? That's all they're gonna say. It's like, oh, you basically drafted a Nakobe Dean 2.0. No, we drafted Axeman Jr. for a reason. I think he was like one of the top players in the in college football to rack up about like what double-digit tackles and double-digit sacks. I think that's what one of very few players to do that consistently. I mean, he not only was he like a leader of that Clemson defense. I mean, he can also play outside edge. He could play that outside linebacker role, which is what I imagine Vic Fangio will put him in these kinds of schemes. And you pair him next to a healthy Nakobe Dean and Devin White. That is just incredible. I mean, and again, I'm going to use professional wrestling as my thing because, damn it, I love that sport as well. And having Jeremiah Trotter Jr. come back home, you know who he reminds me of, Coach? Cody Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes? Okay.
Finish the story. He is going to finish
Nightmare.
Yes, and guess what? And I'm gonna bring a segment that I always do with NFL Masal. It's called like how we say like this is my take home measures. Like as we're banging the table for that, I'm pulling off something called a beat the dole. Hindi for dole is drum. So my beat the dole moment. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. is gonna lead us and win a freaking Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. That is my beat the dole, bang the table. Hell yeah! And yeah, call me delusional and all that, but Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he's gonna finish the goddamn story, beat the dole. He's gonna win us a Super Bowl.
For the record, everybody in Florida, Cozy did not go to WrestleMania, so don't listen to the lies he tell you.
Oh, I didn't go. I saw it instantly, had to buy it. I had to cop it.
All right. Cozy, before we go into this, let me just roll through these. All right. And just tell me what you think after this, Cozy. Nick Bolton, Kansas City Chief linebacker, 5'11", 237. All right. Raekwon Smith, Baltimore Ravens linebacker, 6'1", 236. Dre Greenlaw, San Francisco linebacker, 6 feet, 230. You look at Patrick Queen, Pittsburgh Steelers linebacker, 6 feet tall, 230. You look at everybody's favorite Hard Knocks heartthrob, Malcolm Rodriguez, 5'11", 234. You're looking at, of course, the two boys out here in H-Town, Christian Harris, 6'1", 226, and then Henry Tutu, 6'1", 228. And then, you know, the up-and-comer guy out there in Minnesota, Ivan Pace Jr., 5'10", 231. Do you see a trend with all these guys?
I see what you were going at there. I saw what you were getting to and what you were going towards. But a lot of those dudes you named are, people would say, are high-quality guys. I haven't heard anybody say those players are, what's the word, undersized. People like those players. Those are, a lot of those guys you named are considered top 10 guys. And I saw you said a couple of them that were under 6 foot. Jeremiah Trotter is 6 foot 229, but he's undersized. It's a bunch of malarkey. They're just another way to people try to shit on the Eagles draft pick when it's a good draft pick. Take the floor. I could get real negative about too. Take the floor.
On this one, I got two takes because I see it from both ends. This is a legacy pick because, you know, of course, Jeremiah Trotter came to Philly after his stint with the, if I'm correct, the Redskins, or the formerly known Washington Redskins. Yes, it's good to have that nostalgia there. You're going to definitely see it. It would be a crime if this man is not wearing 54 in the midnight green during his preseason. But as well as the coach, you have to sit this young man down alone when you do those rookie mini camps. And you have to let him know, like, hey, you need to create your own legacy. What your father has done is that's his story. You need to write your own book, because at the end of the day, we're of that age now. We are literally that age. We're seeing, if you look at this draft class alone, Terrell Owens, Frank Gore, Jerry Rice, Jeremiah Trotter, Chris Jenkins. Who else had a son in this draft? Like, bro, we are seeing guys like when we were young, watch and play, like their kids now are getting drafted. A couple drafts ago, we get Asante Samuel Jr. We're getting, what was the other guy? Who's the other corner?
Runyon.
Who that is a
Runyon.
Huh? Oh, John Runyon. But no, it's
Joey Porter
another
Jr.
corner. Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter, like, we're seeing the guys we like idolized growing up. Their kids are now getting drafted. So one, the water is not the same of what they were drinking back then, because a lot of these kids now, you got linemen running like 4.5s, 4.6s. So this is a whole different genetic pool that we're getting with. But remember, this draft class is the last official draft class that was the COVID holdout year, like the guys that were basically that sat out of COVID, so they were
Mhm.
able to extend their collegiate football career, like Bo Nix, Will Shipley was one of them as well.
I
So
think Bo Nix was more than just a
Yeah.
fucking COVID.
the talent pool for next year's draft, as far as like skill wise, is going to take a significant drop. But when I'm looking at Jeremiah Trotter's tape, when I'm looking at his skill set, and then like I said, I compare what's in the league, he literally reminds me of Nick Bolton. And Nick Bolton is a dog. He's a 2-time defending Super Bowl champion, if I'm correct. Is he 2 or 1 time?
2.
Yeah, 2 times.
Okay. So 2-time
Him
defending
and
Super Bowl champion.
what's the other one? Willie Gay? Is it the other guy they have? No.
Willie, I would think so.
Willie went somewhere. Willie Gay went somewhere else.
There's another guy they have that I know who's also very good.
But then you look at, if you look
Leo
at guys
Chanel.
like,
That's who it was.
and then you're looking at guys like, look at Houston. Both of their middle linebackers are 6'1" and under 230.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I understand the comparison of Nakobe 2.0, but at the end of the day, this man is, once again, he was a leader at Clemson. This guy understands what he's about to go into. He was, in a sense, prepared for this. When you have a NFL caliber, and I'm not talking your dad was a scrub. His dad was a legit, I won't say Hall of Famer, but a legit middle linebacker that caused havoc. The name rings royalty when it comes to the link. Like, he's prepped for this moment. And then the fact that he is now coming into the same limelight, he's prepared for media because his dad coached him on what Philly media is like.
Oof.
He's, in a sense, is going to be set up for success because of, if you look at that video from Mr. Larry talking with Jeremiah Jr., it goes all the way back to even when his mother passed away from cancer. Like, this is not just a football thing. This is family. So this guy is going to come out, and he's not initially going to be a starter.
Yeah.
But once again, he's going to be a special teams guy that's going to make us forget about Sean Bradley to the point like we're going to go as Eagles fans. He's knocking heads off. Like, why is this dude not starting at linebacker? Once again, you're giving Vic Fangio too many toys to play with that, you know, at some, you can't play with every toy that your parents bought you. He's going to have to pick his poison and choose eventually which way, but that is a good problem we have. And bro, I understand, like I said, the undersizement, but Jeremiah Trotter is going to be my favorite person to watch during preseason. Just because of, if you go back and listen what Nick said when media was questioning him about starters not really playing his preseason. Nick is going to have the starters, and he's going to have a lot of guys play a lot in the preseason to mimic what we did this Super Bowl year. So, and if you look at everybody we have, you look at that linebacker room, you have, of course, not Nolan. You have Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
You have Devin White. You have Zach Braun. You have Oren Burks. You have now Jeremiah Trotter. Your iron is sharpening iron. Like, these cats are going to be out there battling, because if you look at the linebackers that have been signed, Owen Burks, Devin White, Zach Braun, they're all on 1-year deals. So money is on the line for these cats. And if, you know, if you taking food out of my kid's mouth, bro, we got a problem. At the end of the day, I'm playing like rent is due. And if you look at a lot of the guys we did add outside of CJ DJ, a lot of people are on 1-year contracts. So a lot of people are going to be playing like the rent is not even a rent is due. They put the notice up and the court's about to come change the locks tomorrow. So
100%.
Bro, you're going to really see guys battle it out this preseason. Like, I don't want to throw it out there, but if you look in the NFC, Philly, San Fran, Detroit, Dallas still, even though they haven't done much, even though they didn't go all in, Dallas is still Dallas on paper. Those are the 4 teams right now that are literally potential to come out the NFC. And then you look at the AFC. Houston right now is a Super Bowl contender. Even though it's year 2 of the D'Amico Ryan era, they are a Super Bowl fucking contender. And then you have KC. You're signing Big Red and that whole front office now until 2029.
Yeah.
And then you have now Joe Shiesty getting healthy. He's no longer having an appendicitis. All right. He stayed away from, the cheese puffs, that type of stuff. So Cincinnati. Buffalo's a question mark, but I'm going to go ahead and throw him out of that hat.
Hey, guys, real quick. Breaking news, non-football related. Ryan Garcia tested positive for banned substance in the fight against Devin Haney.
I don't care.
I just want to say it for the boxing fans out there.
I like just Garcia for his marketing, for his trolling.
I mean, I don't follow boxing. I'm an MMA guy, so I could care less.
I just want to throw it out there. Back to the football.
But Trotter is definitely going to be one of these guys that can become a household legacy. You see Asante Samuel Jr. locking it down out there in LA. That's who it fucking was. Patrick Surtain. He's locking it down out there in Denver.
Yeah.
You got these legacy guys who parents weren't scrubs. I think Trotter is going to follow the trend. Joey Porter Jr. did all right as well in last season with Pittsburgh. So, that'll be straight. Now, as I digress and go on to the next pick, get off that little soapbox. We take our first lineman in round 6, and we take Trevor Keegan let me do this right. We take former national champion of the 2024 BCS championship, Trevor Keegan.
CFP, not BCS.
CFB, TCB, Kuna No, but
it's as easy as 1, 2, 3, whatever it is.
But former champion now coming as a guard. The first lineman we take in the 6th round. One, that's unorthodox for Howie. That's unorthodox for the Eagles in general.
Man.
Right. Let me know what you're thinking, bro. Let me know what you're thinking.
I mean, when I saw the Trevor Keegan pick, I'm like, this guy's like what 6'7". He's a big boy. Played, and he was part again. I mean, you said it clearly. He was part of that Michigan offensive line that went to the college football playoffs. What, 3 times? Won the Big 12, won the Big 10 3 times, beat Ohio State 3 times, and won the championship because of that strong run game that Jim Harbaugh coaches with. But with Zach Keegan, and I think if I remember, he started all 15 games, and I believe with Trevor Keegan, I believe he allowed 0 sacks. From what I've understood, this man allowed 0 sacks when he was playing in Michigan, man. And you're bringing him into Stoutland University, like, holy crap! This is an amazing pick. Definitely just Stoutland pick. I love this, and it reinforces that O-line and the mantra that that this team preaches on. Build through the trenches. Build through the trenches. Repeat after me. Build through the trenches. And I mean, I just love this pick. I could go on and on about this, but man, we got to get some competition, and it's going to be a lot of spice in that. So I love it. Him versus Jalen Carter. That could be a rematch of that 2021 or 2020 like college football championship. Michigan versus
22.
Georgia. Oh yeah,
22.
Trevor Keegan versus Jalen Carter. I'd love to see it. I want to see it, man.
Cozy, what do you think, bro?
I think it's a very solid pick. We knew how he was going to get O-line eventually. Like, we knew he was going to do something along that line. We didn't know when. And for someone coming off a national championship to drop that low, and we got him, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I'm happy with it. And like I said, I've seen a couple highlights. The one highlight I've seen that I really liked is the goal line highlights, because they were comparing it for the tush push stuff.
Yep.
I think we got another dog. Again, just another pick that people were gonna not over exaggerate, but people were gonna like overthink, and how he didn't really do that good. But I think it's a very solid pick, and I'm once again happy.
So I can't wait to see this on Sunday,
Ooh!
bro. If
My
he don't,
goodness.
That's scary.
If you don't got face paint on during rookie minicamp, hang your jersey up. But all jokes aside, this now is you're giving Coach Stoutland, literally, who I feel is better, who's a better O-line coach than the late great Howard Mudd. Another weapon. Stoutland's favorite or one of Stoutland quotes is, the more you can do, the more valuable you are. So this is not just the guy that can play a guard. He can play wherever you need him to. I think he's listed at 6'6", which is going to be big. Let me confirm his height. He's either 6'6" or 6'5".
He's big. I saw the article or the thing I read. It said that he would be like one of the biggest guards in the NFL. I believe that's the one I saw. Oh no, I'm thinking
He's
of
a
Becton.
big boy.
He's 6'6". So if you look at potentially this preseason, if this was old school Madden, I hate bringing it up, but you remember when Madden would have like the position battles? You're
Yeah.
literally going to have Tyler Steen battling it out with Trevor Keegan and then Mekhi Becton, a former first-round pick. Like, people are talking about Becton being 6'7", too big, but then you're looking at a guy that's 6'6", that's played guard his whole career. Like, bro, that's a lot of ass in the middle of the field. No Diddy.
That's a hey man.
So
Oh my god.
when it goes once again back to, like I said, the versatility of being a theme, bro, and the fact that iron is sharper than iron. Mekhi Becton, and we signed him on a 1-year deal. We'll get onto that later. But then you're getting Trevor Keegan, an up and coming rookie. Tyler Steen, a second-year player now, who's now competing for a open right guard starting position. So there's an open vacancy right now that a lot of people see, and they're competing for it. So it's up to you to lose that job. Are we going to Andre Dillard it and then let somebody just come in my house and take it?
Ooh.
Or is it going to be really a tough decision, and the Eagles carry probably 8 linemen going into the regular season? I'm not talking 8 linemen on the 65. I'm talking 8 linemen on the actual 53. Guys that are going to suit up on game day.
No way. No way that happens. I mean,
if that happens, I mean.
Oh, and by the way, I don't know if you said it yet, but Trevor Keegan is 6'5", 308 pounds.
Yeah.
But once again, this goes back to the OC, Kellen Moore. We understand he likes to run tight end sets, but what doesn't mean we could have a potential back then, Jordan Mailata, Lander Dickinson, Cam Jurgens, Trevor Keegan, and a Lane Johnson, and that's your big boy package.
12 personnel, man. Jumbo.
One of those guys is eligible on a jumbo.
Oh,
Could you imagine seeing
Lane
Jordan
Johnson
Mailata
touchdown?
in motion?
Jordan Mailata, maybe a passing touchdown.
Bro, no, rushing touchdown. Have Mailata move to the backfield. Fuck that tush push. We get in the fucking rugby rush.
Or all right,
push.
let me add one more to that.
Mailata takes the snap.
You got that group there, and then you got Tyler Steen lined up as a fullback like a fridge.
Oh my god.
And then you still got
Wait, wait.
Saquon Barkley in the
Wait,
backfield.
no, it's
And
Shipley.
then
With Shipley behind him. By a lot of Becton moves to the back. You just see Becton, and in the play you see Becton moving. Will Shipley, bro, I need it, bro. Kellen Moore,
Inject it to my veins, man. I want to see that.
the versatility is there for what did AJ Brown say? On paper, we look good. Nobody cares about how much you getting paid when you step on that field. On paper, we all look good, but I need this to translate once
Yeah.
again to the field, bro.
It comes down to coaching.
Comes down
Sirianni,
to
do
Kellen
not
Moore.
fuck this up.
No, I'm not even calling Sirianni. Sirianni's basically he's the Nino Brown. Nino Brown. I need my Akbar guy. The dude Nino Brown snitched on. So that's gonna be Kellen Moore. All right.
Oh,
So which comes into now the next trade or the next pick we get. You got Keon Cole, who's killing it right now in Buffalo on all the social media outlets. And
bro.
he needs to shut up about talking about Macy's because that's a well kept secret and he's talking too much. You get another guy, Johnny Wilson, who's 6'6", 6'7", and 195, 200 pounds, wide receiver. And then coaches already came out. Nick Sirianni said, no, he's not going to tight end. So you can potentially see a lineup if we go 4 wide, if we go 3 wide, and your lineup could be a goal line situation. Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Johnny Wilson.
And the crazy thing about that lineup is you're looking at all these dudes, and Smitty going to be the one to get the jump ball and fucking reel that shit in the corner.
Well, not even that. You're looking at all these dudes, and you're like, well, 3 of these guys are proven. Being Dallas Goedert, Smitty, and AJ Brown. But then you're looking at that 1-6-7 dude, and you're like, well, shit, what do we what do we do? We don't want to go one-on-one with AJ.
Everyone drop back, and Hurts just rushes it in. Just steals another touchdown.
Nah, it'll be Saquon. It'll be Saquon. All fantasy holders, go ahead and get Saquon.
Yeah. My boy Terrence. What up, my boy?
But
my bad.
Yeah,
my boy.
Rack. What do you know? Are you familiar with Johnny Wilson out of Florida State, and as well, what are your thoughts of having this big monster of a potential weapon?
I mean, to be able to get him in a late round, I think that's definitely a great pickup. And I mean, from what I've understood from his stats, 3rd team all ACC this year, started 10 games, 41 catches, 617 yards with a 15 yards after catch or something like that. I don't know if that's the yak number, but yards per catch, and then 2 touchdowns. I mean, definitely he's going to be like your 50-50 guy. And I mean, and now, which begs me the question now, and I want to ask you these guys. We got prior to the draft, we got especially even prior to getting Anaya Smith and Johnny Wilson, we got 2 guys similar. We had Devontae Parker and Paris Campbell Jr. Now, those 2 guys that we just recently signed prior to the draft, their asses are on the hot seat now because we got 2 young guns who can literally do the same thing. Johnny Wilson, I understand is some of the route. Yeah, maybe he's not too route savvy. He's a 50-50 ball guy. He's tall. He's like that guy say, "Hey, I'm tall. I got hands. Throw it to me." Or Nia Smith is just like that shifty guy. Yeah, I get it, but it speaks to the degree of what we want to see in a Kellen Moore type of offense. And I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun, man. I mean,
you could say dangerous.
Is it dangerous, or is it one of them all right, we got to get you into the group chat, right? But I think I put in the group chat, bro. The league eventually is gonna have to ban Howie. Like,
They're gonna have it's gonna be no more like you know how they have like the free agency period and before that it's tampering.
Yeah.
They're gonna just have no like trade period because of Howie. Like between like a certain time period, just no trades are allowed because of Howie.
My
They're gonna
no,
be
goodness.
like, all right,
you remember how the NBA blocked Chris Paul going to the Lakers to play with Kobe?
Yeah.
That's how the league is
bro,
gonna have to treat Howie. Howie's gonna be like, hey, before you initiate any trade, send it to me so I can review it.
no.
No,
They're gonna be like, no,
no,
veto.
this is not happening.
No,
He's calling
you
other
know,
teams. Hey, are you really? Look, I got extra $1 million. How much money you need to keep this player? All right, we'll like, but the fact that
It's very
with
possible.
Johnny Wilson, his route tree is not where everybody wants it. But at the end of the day, as a coach, I'm perfectly fine with him being a 50-50 ball because for sure hands, he's 6'7", and he's very aggressive at the high point. So, when it comes to the red zone, like, go get it, bro. I don't need you out here running a damn skinny post or, working on it. Like, bro, just sit at the back of the pylon. I'm gonna throw it up. Just go snag that hoe.
You could also have him just sit behind AJ and learn from AJ because AJ can run routes, AJ can do everything, but AJ really is our Alshon Jeffrey this year. Smitty can do it obviously, but AJ really is our wide receiver one. He's our jump ball guy, He's the guy who got the late hands in the end zone.
I'll say Smitty is the jump ball guy.
Smitty's a jump ball guy, but AJ Brown really is our 50-50 guy too. They both are, but in terms of size, he's gonna learn more from AJ Brown sitting behind him because he's bigger.
I think Washington Commanders would say otherwise, because I know Smitty just.
Hey, the Steelers and the Titans would say otherwise. The Steelers and Titans might agree with me on that one.
Johnny Wilson is definitely another big body. It as you alluded to it, we signed, Paris Campbell, Devontae Parker in the free agency, both from 1-year deals, to where if these young guys that we drafted are showing enough potential to where I don't want to put them on the practice squad because they could be potentially stolen. It's not hard for me to part ways with Devontae Parker and Paris Campbell because at the end of the day, Paris Campbell is really brought on his team to compete for wide receiver 3 and kick return. But when I have 100%. Will Shipley and Nia Smith, they can fill that role. Paris Campbell deuces. Even though I got John Ross coming out here who regularly just got broke by Xavier Worthy. He's going to rookie minicamp.
Devontae Parker.
Hey, bro. I appreciate you coming out. Here's your T-shirt. You can keep the gear. We got plenty. All right.
We would like to wish you the best of luck in all your futures endeavors. Something like that.
But this is, once again, we're at it's a luxury for us because these are all good problems to have. These are all great problems to have. It's not one of these like, damn, all right, it's going to be a tough decision. Like, no, like we have good talent on paper that these guys can, eventually roll into. Which rolls into the very last one. The man who's probably come compete with Sidney Brown for the most luxuries here. The boy McMahon from North Carolina State. Shout out to Miss Simone, who's been out there doing the Lord
man,
work, bro. Shout out to her. This is one of her alumni, one of her cohorts. Dylan McMahon from NC State. He's it says guard center, but I'm gonna put O-line, and that goes right back into what Coach Stoutland is looking for. You can play center, you can play guard. That's gonna give you opportunity to fight for a roster. Right. What are your thoughts on this one, man?
I mean, like I agree with him. Definitely a good backup. I mean, as I'm like currently looking through his stats right now, according to NFL Draft NFL.com. I mean, like he in 2023, Honorable mention, all ACC. Started 11 games at center, so he does have that experience playing center. If Cam Jurgens is, I hope Cam Jurgens does well. But if he gets hurt, we have someone who can play that center role. And I think like with him, he could play center or guard, so he gives you that versatility, which is what we needed. With Seomalu gone and Suapeta being out. So having Trevor Keegan and who's a strong guard. By the way, I'm going to repeat this again. Trevor Keegan allowed 0 sacks. Just to shout it out in the universe for those that are still hating on that pick, those that are deaf. No disrespect to the deaf, but those that are deaf from that pick, Trevor Keegan allowed 0 sacks, by the way. If I need to repeat it again, please do let me know. But,
how many definitely...
sacks? But, he does have that experience, but, when it comes, again, his strength is going to be, especially when the Eagles work on that run game with pass blocking. I'm not 100% sure on it, but definitely this is something that Jeff Stoutland can work with because it's a late round pick. We all know Jeff Stoutland's track record with working with linemen that have been offensive linemen that have been drafted in the late rounds. And the only outlier is Andre Dillard, who was picked in the first, and he's now playing somewhere in the Titans or something. I'd say it's a good depth piece. That's all I can say.
Now, before I get to Cozy, because I know Cozy like the hot takes, and with me being military, we sometimes have conspiracy.
Did somebody say hot takes?
But this being pick 190, is Dylan McMahon the next Travis Kelce? The only reason I say that because Kelce was pick 191.
All right.
And I'm not talking as far as like actually Kelce, but is he the next underdog?
Like the next good tight end?
He could be.
No, not Travis Kelce, Jason Kelce, fool.
Oh, well, you said Travis.
Did I say Travis?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Travis Kelce.
All right, Dylan McMahon
like,
give us a decent stanky leg or something? Like behind Saquon Barkley on the TD? Will we get a little Uzi Vert?
Yeah.
It's possible. I honestly, I don't know if he's going to be the next Kelce, just because I feel like Jurgens has already got that role locked up, considering Kelce handpicked him. But McMahon can definitely potentially be I don't even want to say like the next Dickerson, because I think our O-line right now is very solid, including the depth we have. So he might not even get played. Dylan McMahon might be a starter on another team. Let me put it that way. I don't know how long he'll last with how much depth we have. He could stay on the practice squad. What up, bug? Or he could end up like most of our draft picks and just start on another team.
It could be.
Do you mind, Sugar? Stop yelling. Can you guys hear that?
I was about to ask, do you hear my background?
He's just talking to the pets. But yeah, I don't think I hear anything.
You guys didn't hear me yell at my dog, correct?
Nah,
but
little bit's over here throwing a fit.
I did hear someone. But I think now I hear something. I hear someone from a very far distance asking me how many sacks did Trevor Keegan allowed. By the way, the answer is 0 sacks.
Oh my god! I'm not mad. I'm not mad at it. I think we went like 5 minutes without mentioning how many sacks he had, so I'm glad that we now got that out of the way.
Yeah,
we got it out of the way. Well, that gives it as far as all the picks, and of course with Howie, once again, not only did he add more fuel to the fire for the Eagles roster, he also beat another NFL record for most trades in a damn draft. with with 9 trades, bro. Howie having 9 trades into the draft, and then not only doing that, but as soon as the draft is over, what is it? A day later, you go ahead and sign a former first round pick, 24-year-old Mekhi Becton,
My
who
goodness.
could not cut it in New York. But at the end of the day, you're given Jeff Stoutland University, another student who's been admitted and accepted to the program, to damn officially graduate with a degree, cum laude, or I'm probably mispronouncing that, but everybody exactly knows what I'm talking. Top of the
I think you
class.
said that exactly perfectly. I'm not gonna lie to you. You said
But
it.
how are we feeling about Mekhi Becton on a 1-year deal and the rumor of him potentially competing for the guard spot?
Take it away, Rock.
So I just checked on ESPN the Eagles depth chart. They have Mekhi Becton listed as a guard. But I'm gonna say this: if you want to really strengthen, if you want to show like where Mekhi Becton is, leave him where he plays his best at. That is a tackle position. I'm not sure about guard, but if Jeff Stoutland can do, if Jeff Stoutland, okay, I'm gonna say this: if Jeff Stoutland can convert a rugby player to being one of the best left tackles in this goddamn planet, then I think he could do the same thing with Mekhi Becton. I have high hopes for that. I have full confidence. But of course, yeah, the injuries are the concerning part. But last year, he only played 16. He started 16 games last season, and he had to work with what 4 seconds of Aaron Rodgers, and then mom hunter Zach Wilson, by the way. I think, and I mean, like, it definitely, again, it addresses the one thing: depth position, and that's where because Lane Johnson's turning 34. I don't know if he's going to play a full season, and if Becton is strong at that guard, he'll be playing in the field. And by the way, Mekhi Becton will be playing in a field that does not cause us any injuries. That's like a financial field, unlike this crap that we see in the so-called MetLife Stadium.
Ooh.
No, I'm not just throwing darts. I'm throwing reality. That says, and I hope those New Jersey Giants and New Jersey Jets fans that are watching here, they understand this. Your turf is shit. 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 Don't change it before the FIFA World Cup, by the way. And that's another topic.
The world's most expensive ACL.
Actually, they per FIFA World Cup rules, they have to. So all locations that are
keep it the same thing.
FIFA has given all NFL locations that will be hosting the parameters of what the grass requirements are supposed to be. So what the NFL is actually hoping this does is show that the grass is a lot safer to eventually cancel out the use of turf fields at all locations.
Right. But
just some FYI for some.
Yeah.
I feel like they could just override that anyways and be like, oh, everyone in the world, including former players, current players, and like everybody involved has said that the MetLife turf sucks and that turf sucks. Let's get rid of it.
Yeah.
But they're just like, now, the Bengals just now updated their field to the MetLife turf. Same shit.
Yeah. And I didn't mean to go off topic, but by the way, guys, my bad on that. But this is just like a classic Ruckshuck rant that I always do at NFL Masala. Like there'll be something I'm like, and I'll go hammer it. And it involves a rant on Jonathan Gannon being the worst defensive coordinator in Eagles history, especially in the freaking Super Bowl. I hate you, Gannon. That's out of the way. But anyway, like with Mekhi Becton, I did look at it.
Well needed though. Needed to be said.
I think like with Mekhi Becton, although he played a full, like technically a full season, he did commit 12 penalties, second most in the NFL. Allowed 12 point sacks according to Next Gen, but he stayed healthy, and now with that, technically his full year of experience that he has, he won't have to do that much because he's gonna be learning behind learning from Jeff Stoutland. He's going to be getting up to speed from Lane Johnson and Jordan Mailata. And I think, again, depth and that bit of experience, Mekhi Becton's going to benefit from this. I think this is good. I think I spoke too long on this. You guys go ahead.
What you got, Cozy?
I was going to say when it comes to Mekhi Becton, it's really a win-win for us because we have so much depth at that position or not position, but in that, well, if you want to count the whole O-line, we have so much depth that, like, if Mekhi Becton pans out and he ends up becoming that first-round pick that everyone assumed he would be, great. And if he plays guard, great. If he ends up playing tackle and, like, could potentially be Lane's replacement, great. If he doesn't work, the worst case scenario, he doesn't work at all, we lose nothing because our depth chart is already pretty stacked as it is. So I don't even know what his contract is.
Up to 5.5 million.
Up to 5.5, but so it's not 5.5. So it's probably like maybe 2 mil, which is like whatever. If he gets 2 mil, whatever is even guaranteed or not, and even if he plays or not, doesn't signing him eventually go into the comp pick formula, or am I wrong about that? Like if we get him,
I'm gonna do more research because
I need to check on that part.
He got released. So I'm not sure if we would get a comp pick. On
if it works in the comp pick formula for our favor, great. If it doesn't do anything at all and he doesn't play for us and we lose nothing over it, great.
Yeah.
None of it has absolute no negative outcome. Either he's good and it works for us, or he's bad and he's gone and it doesn't matter. Say it with me, guys. Great.
I think we timed that one right.
So here's my take on it. You don't make moves without talking to your people or at least knowing the temperature in the room. So, this year alone, we lost both, or not lost. It sounded like somebody passed away. Kelsey and Fletcher Cox has retired. So, as you're looking at our roster, Lane Johnson would be the third domino to fall. So, Mekhi Becton being a former offensive tackle that played on the left side that could potentially make a switch to the right, but is going to play guard. You're not only allowing somebody to become more versatile to add more fuel to the fire of widest members on the roster, but if there comes to the point at the end of the 24-25 season, Lane Johnson decides to hold it up. If the tape is good enough, you can now, decide to give Mekhi Becton a contract and rework those numbers. It's more of like an audition. Because you're not going to make this move without knowing there's probably been a little hum of Lane Johnson probably talking about we'll see how I feel at the end of this year. Like we played this, dog, this we done the dance with Kelsey 3 times now where he finally, decided to retire. But Lane now being the next domino to potentially do it. BG's on the farewell tour.
BG, I think BG is technically the next domino.
This is going to be BG's last year.
No, BG's officially on his last year. He said this is the farewell tour.
That's what I'm saying. So he, Lane, in my mind, is next.
But for Lane, if Lane achieves a certain accolade to where he's like, know what, I'm gonna go out while I'm on top. Let's say best case scenario. Now I wasn't gonna say ring. I was going to say best case scenario, NFC Championship.
Okay, fair enough.
If Lane is or something.
If Lane is able to win an NFC Championship and at least get a Super Bowl appearance and we lose, I'm not saying it happens, but if that's the case, I think Lane is comfortable enough to go ahead and be like, look, I'm going to hang it up. But 100%. Mekhi Becton gives you that opportunity to at least see potentially what somebody looks like in your system on a try it and buy it. We're literally test driving somebody to determine if we potentially want to keep this person. No Diddy. But that's my take on that. And then we'll roll right into these UDFAs because we at an hour 45, and I know baby girl is definitely ready to. It's booming. We're at a good number, and I'm rocking. Nah, they messed it up now. It went up. It should have stayed at where it was at. But this is. I don't know what it is about Texas, but I've watched a lot of Texas football just being out here. So signing Gabe Hall out of Baylor, defensive tackle.
Oh my God, we gotta talk about that dude. How is he not drafted?
Bro, the draft didn't go how everybody expected anyway. So we got to remember that one as well. The draft, if we look at it, a lot of people that were supposed to go in the first round that didn't go in the first round. So the draft mismanaged a lot of pockets. There's a lot of agents right now that are explaining to their clients, they dropped the ball, or they're trying to backpedal right now because they were given promises that they thought based off of statistics. But you got Gabe Hall, another dog who was projected to potentially be a 4th round pick, become a UDFA and fall and decide to come to Philly. And you can now potentially partner this guy to had a hell of a Senior Bowl, and he's going to be in a room now with guys like Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Marlon Tuipulotu, Jordan Davis.
Yeah.
I honestly, to me, I think this is going to put Jordan Davis kind of like on the bro, we're coming for your job regardless of how big you are, because Gabe Davis can be a starter.
Yep.
He definitely will be a rotation piece if he makes the roster, but Gabe Davis on any other 31 roster could be a starter. He was the only reason Baylor had a defense.
Because of Gabe Hall. Yeah.
Gabe Hall is nasty with it. Jalen Carter, was nasty on the streets, but Gabe Hall was the dude that was legit probably murdering people on the field. So
I'm just surprised. I'm really happy that the Eagles were able to pick him up as a UDFA. And I didn't even know about the guy. And right now I'm actually going through a bit of his his draft profile. He is he is really good, especially he's okay with a pass rush, but then again, he was in a program in which in the Big 12, all they do is just F it. Offense is the best way to go. And as you said, he is the reason why Baylor has a defense. And part of his 2023 statistics that I found out, 12 games played, 17 total tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, and 1 pass deflected. Great run defender. He can, and if somehow he makes it into the roster, he's a good run defense. He can definitely help with with stopping the run, and the size has it. Definitely can go work with early downs, and because the Eagles love to use defensive line rotations, and great depth piece. But man, if Gabe Hall makes it, you pair him with Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. Oh, I'm just salving and dreaming. But if he somehow pulls through, holy shit, man, I'm already thinking about it. I'm having goosebumps.
I got the goosebumps. I think it's definitely a solid move. It's definitely something, because going into the draft too, everyone's biggest concern was safety, linebacker, and obviously that was a big concern for everybody. But I was also thinking, I want another tackle, because defensive tackle, to clarify. I want another tackle because we saw what happened at the end, towards the end of the year with Carter and Davis and Milton. They got tired. Cox couldn't do it anymore, and it's like those guys are definitely good, but they need rest. We need to rotate those guys out, and they're going to take a step, and they're going to get better. But I was like, I want either a veteran who's still relatively young, still has the energy to go, the stamina, if you will, or I want another drafted tackle, because we got a Jomo, and I like a Jomo. I think a Jomo is definitely going to be a sleeper that people
I forgot about Moro Jomo. Yeah,
everyone does, brother. Everyone does, and I think he is definitely someone that's going to contribute when he gets his chance. With Fletcher Cox gone, he's going to get more playing time. But getting this dude Hall, I think he's definitely going to help this team as well. If he gets his shot, he's going to make an impact too. Definitely think it's a sleeper pick.
All right. So the next person we got come out of University of Maryland is, I know I'm definitely going to chop this up, and I've been drinking. Gottlieb Ayedzi.
That's what I'm hearing.
A guard out of Mellon.
I don't think I hear you.
You cut out.
Coach, I can't hear you.
Oh, they died.
Womp womp.
Damn. Well, was that God saying enough is enough? To break the silence, let me just say this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many sacks did Keegan give up?
Oh, Trevor Keegan gave up 0 sacks, by the way.
All right. Can y'all hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear?
Yeah, you're perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
You're perfect, Coach.
We got Milton Williams, or Kendall Milton, running back out of Georgia. This is giving me what's old buddy's name? His daddy was a boxer. The dude who fight Mike Tyson. No, not Mayweather. He got his ear bit off.
Oh, wait. Evander
Holyfield. This reminds me of Elijah Holyfield.
Oh shit! Forgot all about him.
Oh wow, that dude.
He's a little. He won't make the roster. I'm not gonna invest much into it. If anything, he'll probably be a decent practice squad just to give some looks and get some burn. But I ain't thinking much of it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, even in his final year, 121 rushes, 790 yards, 14 touchdowns. I think like he wasn't that much of a threat because as a receiver out of the backfield, that's where a lot of his parts are. But I mean, like, yeah, it's gonna be tough competition for him. But hey, I mean, at least Howie Roseman's sticking to the fact that Eagles love Georgia players. So here you go, I guess.
I think, definitely, like you said, an Elijah Holyfield like signing, but Elijah Holyfield could have been nice, brother. We'll never know.
Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
We'll never know. And then out of the HBCU, Howard University, Aneem Dankwa, offensive tackle. So once again, this is another depth piece. Like I said, a lot of these guys out of this is a very small UDFA class. He's honestly or for Aneem, he's definitely just going to be competing against like Steen, like the guys who are trying to solidify at least competing for that roster.
Steen, McMahon, we'll probably Keegan.
Like if something pops up in, let's say, free agency, or we're about to sign somebody, we need to clear up some cap, he would probably be one of them people to go. Now this person, he's probably gonna ride out the preseason. Honestly, he may take Grant Calcaterra's job. McKalen Castle, Tennessee tight end. Yeah, a lot a lot of people are undervaluing the tight ends right now. I think with Travis Kelsey getting that extension, it's kind of changing the market a little bit. But if you look at our tight end room, you got Alberto, Dallas Goddard, Grant Calcaterra, you got
CJ Ozoma.
CJ Uzoma,
Mm-hmm.
who won is 31, so he's on a 1-year deal. So Grant Calcaterra, injury yet last year, of course, with the concussion, which is one of the reasons why he retired out of OU, but he's still on the roster. So you
Still
bring in
crazy.
another tight end, into the room. It's Grant is basically competing to stay on the roster at this point.
Yeah.
Albert O is going to be given that opportunity. I don't think he got the credit he was due last year because of the current offensive coordinator. But this preseason, we're going to literally see who's going to be that second tight end to be on the opposite field against Dallas Goddard. And
Yeah.
then we bring in Andre Sam, safety out of LSU. It's LSU, bro. You can't. You're good enough to play Power 5. We'll see if you're that 1% to play within the league. But LSU is DBU, in my opinion. Their guys are definitely straight. You look at Stingley, you look at Honey Badger.
Mm-hmm.
They produce NFL caliber talent to even their UDFAs, Ryan Clark.
I think there is one LSU DB that we got. I think I'm not sure if it's right, but Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I think he's LSU.
Know what? Let me go next door and ask.
I got ESPN up. Oh, Florida. He went to Florida. He went to ULF. Whatever. Okay. But hey, he played SEC. He played in a he played at least like Andre Sam from what I'm seeing. I mean, he had like 85 tackles, 3 interceptions for LSU in 2023. I mean, he originally played at McNeese State in 2017, transferred to Marshall in 2022, and then to LSU. That's all I got. And I mean, he's undersized, but he's a thumper. He's a big hitter. And some of the comparisons that I've seen is Varen McKinley from Oregon back in the day. And you may recognize his name, Kurt Coleman from Ohio State in 2010.
But Andre Sam, that name and the spelling don't match the demographic of the previous safety. Now, I like my safeties to look a certain way as far as, being a little biased a little bit.
What do you mean?
I know you're. What do I mean? Like my boy from Minnesota. Harrison Smith. I know why he's on the team. And he's a thumper. He's the thumper.
Andrew Sandejo.
Oh.
That fucking murderer.
Sandejo, he probably got a couple bodies. But I think Andre Sam is going to be another. Basically, he's competing against. Honestly, want to play. He's going to compete. He's literally battling against Sidney Brown. You're going to battle against Cooper DeJean. You're battling against not Reed. I really think Reed Blankenship may be on a chopping block.
Nah.
You say nah, but you.
I don't know about that.
But the thing is Reed Blankenship is a liability in coverage to a certain extent. So if I can bring somebody in that may be, let's say he's not much of a thumper, but he's not a liability in coverage and he can for sure tackle. If I can give up a thumper, but I have for sure tackle that can cover, I'm willing to do that compared to somebody that, if he hits you, your cleats may come off, but if he misses, your guy's gain another 20 yards. That's liability.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not saying it's a hot take, but is potentially Reed Blankenship could be seeing himself on another squad. Decent little trade piece, probably to Denver.
Now I could see
for
that.
For Justin Simmons,
who's still out
I
there.
wasn't even saying Justin Simmons. I was about to say, why the hell not? Let's stack up this DB room and get PS2 still.
Nah. I think that's
Think
out
about
the
it.
window.
I mean,
Isaiah Rodgers is on a 1-year deal. The guy, the nickel corner we signed is on a 1-year deal. Avonte Maddox is on a 1-year deal. The only people right now in the DB room that are on multiple deals were Eli Ricks, Mekhi Gardner, Keely Ringo, Cooper DeJean, and Quinyon Mitchell. But if I can go ahead and pair up a PS2 to where I can have Cooper DeJean playing the nickel, have PS2 as my DB1, and then have Quinyon Mitchell as my DB2, and I still got CJ DJ for another 2 years, and I'm trying to figure out who that safety is going to be, bro. That secondary don't look that bad.
I'm saying, but we still got Bradbury and Slay, so I don't see that trade happening this
I
year.
yeah,
You
I
don't
know
want to throw Bradbury and Trey, or you can let them start. You don't want Mekhi and them. Their reps are going to come from the preseason, and then if
Right.
Bradbury or Slay, if Bradbury is really getting cooked, then you go ahead and throw in Quinyon. But outside of that, you don't want to throw. They're going to get those Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean Super Bowl reps. Like,
Mhm.
hey, those guys need a breather. Go out there and it's the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Go get
Yeah.
your senior night minutes.
Yeah.
Go get your senior night minutes. That's crazy.
You know them senior night minutes, like when it's the
No, I get what you're saying.
senior
That was just
night
funny.
and
Yeah.
it's 30 seconds left on the clock. Hey, go out there real quick. Go. Time out. I don't care if we get blown out. Time out.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, last one, and then we'll wrap it up, and then we'll call it a night. We've been on here for 2 years. All right, let's go.
For me,
Starting with our new guy. Go ahead. Draft grade.
yeah, I think with this, I'll probably give this like an A minus. Definitely round one and two, it just knocked. It was deep. It was a deep drive down into left field by Castellanos. I mean, I'm not even a Phillies fan, but I mean, I get the reference. But
We
it's like,
appreciate the reference, brother.
hey, I do my homework, y'all. But I think like definitely rounds one and two was like A plus. But I think the Jalix Hunt pick was a bit confusing, and then round three, I could see why Howie Roseman was stacking up and also getting draft picks for the future. And just in case we are somehow caught for tampering, we have that at least some ammo to work with, and getting some good value day three picks. I thought that was like pretty good, especially Deonias Smith and Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and Trevor Keegan. I mean, who, by the way, he's allowed 0 sacks in his career,
Okay.
from what
I
I've
was
heard.
wondering. I was wondering.
I think it's gonna be like the running gag: Death Taxes and Trevor Keegan allowing 0 sacks in Michigan. But I think I think like but overall, I think this was a really good draft. Good in paper. I think Coach Chet is better. Great in paper, but we have to see the quality on the field, and it's up to Kellen Moore to get it done. And I know Vic Fangio has this experience, but it's up to him to coach these guys, and it's up to Nick freaking Sirianni to somehow get us back to our destiny, which is the Super Bowl. That's all I can say.
Cozy, where we at?
I'm gonna be super biased, or I'm gonna be super unbiased when it comes to the grading, because you have to look at it as a whole. And A plus, just knocked it out the park. Not good. I'll definitely say A minus as well, because it definitely was a very good draft, and we covered every single like need that we had. We covered, and usually Howie doesn't really do that. He usually tries to like draft here and there, and then like worries about free agent signings to like fix other holes. Pause. But I would say, yeah, an A minus, like he said, pretty much exactly like you said. Like first two picks, knocked it out the park. Second pick, obviously, I would say better in terms of value, because Cooper DeJean was a first round pick for everybody. Everybody had him going first. I actually called it on Twitter before, because someone was like, I want either Quinion or Cooper, and I was like, we can get Cooper in the second, and someone was like, bro, he's not going in the second round, and I was like, well, he had an injury, and that usually drops players, and they were like, no, bro, he's not. Like, you're crazy. I doubled back to that, and I said, crazy? Who's crazy now? And they were like, all right, good call. But I think getting 2 top 5 corners within the first 40 picks is crazy. So that's great. The J-Lix pick, like we all said, seems like an experiment, but Fangio, who's been around for years, claims that's his pick. That's the guy he saw something with. And when Bill Belichick does that shit, everyone applauds. If Andy Reid were to do it, everyone would applaud. You know what I mean? Like, if all these other head coaches do that, everyone applauds. But Vic Fangio, he's doing it, and everyone's like, we'll see. But it's all right. A guy with multiple years of veteran experience in the NFL as a coach is telling you he sees something in this guy, and he can mold him into a star. I'll take his word for it for now, for the time being, you know? The future holds what the future holds. Shipley, a good depth pick, especially considering we don't know the future with our RB2. He could be trade bait. We'll see. Who else? Trotter, great pick, very good value, especially considering everyone had him graded really high. One of the top 5 linebackers. To get him that late, that's great too. And then everyone else is just, like I said, it's just picks that are very solid, and we got them at a very good price. So overall, I give it an A- as well. I think Howie did a really good draft. I think a lot of teams this year did a good draft. I will say, I think a lot of teams had a very good draft, but Howie's definitely up there with the good drafts.
I'm giving this a B just because they didn't get Adrian Cooper.
Oh,
I'm not
gonna lie. I'm with that.
Yeah,
I
wouldn't.
Loki. Look at this roster. You have to give it. I don't want to be unanimous, but you give it an A- just because there's still a lot of things as far as a bunch of unknowns, but on paper, statistically, the guys that we brought excel our offense and our defense to a certain extent. You're giving Shipley, you're giving Anais, you're giving Johnny Wilson, you're giving Trevor, and you're giving McMahon. You're giving these guys are placed in situations to where they should be able to succeed. You're looking on the defensive side. The question mark with Jeremiah Trotter. Does he have the potential to be a starter? Can he dethrone Devin White or Nakobe Dean? It's going to be very interesting. This rookie minicamp, the OTAs, the preseason, like the what happens, because it's that opportunity for next man up. Not to say if something does happen, but let's say we do, sustain an injury. Y'all probably didn't see the video, but Devin White almost got bit by a damn pit bull, American bully. That video is wild. But let's say somebody sustained an injury doing something like that. You look at the past. Who got hurt riding ATVs and had to sit out for like 6 weeks. And I'm not talking just Eagles, just players in general. Can these guys step up? At the end of the day, the window is set. 2028 is the window Howie has put in place of where we should be contending, at least getting 1 or 2 rings out of that from now to 28. So who's going to step up? Who's going to be that next guy up? Who's going to be the next face of the franchise? Because as you're seeing with the roster getting younger, we're going to start seeing new faces. My definition of a new era is different than other people's definition of a new era, as their fault is talking like a head coach or ownership or anything like that. But the face of the team is a lot different now. Jalen, AJ, Devontae are literally the faces of the franchise. You're looking at the defense. These are all new guys now that are faces of the team. This is a new era as far as, what we're going into. So who's going to be these guys we're cheering on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday? wearing the midnight green, soon to be forgotten as we transition to Kelly green. Um, Trust me, new Eagles uniforms are on the way. I know something y'all don't know, but
You have a group chat with us, Coach.
we'll talk offline.
Okay. We gotta add Rack to it, and then
we'll talk offline.
Okay.
But I was right on the word mark, so cozy, I know some. But yeah, it's an A minus. Everything pans out right. We should be straight. We should be. It's only 4 teams that's going to 10 out of NFC. So as long as we play to our level of football, meaning Eagles football, and we don't play to the level of our competition, losing to teams like,
which we do quite often, honestly, that pisses me off.
let's say we play the AFC South or the NFC South. So let's say we're playing the Panthers, right? And we're playing the lower level of competition, or we're playing to the level of competition for the Falcons, or we're playing to the level of competition of the Saints. No, from what our roster is showing, the NFC South should be blown out the water. All
Yeah.
4 teams should be beaten by at least 20 points. That's what I'm talking about. Um, but we'll see how this things goes as far as how it is. But at the end of the day, like to beat a dead horse, it's just an A minus overall.
Mhm.
And then you add on top of the Makai Becton addition, and then you're extending AJ Brown to push that money a little further to where the Eagles, if I'm correct now, are like at 27 million in cap space. So you still have that flexibility of if you do wanted to, sign another big name, you have that cap to go do it. But all that being said, last word. Anybody got anything to say before we wrap this thing on up? Because I think I smelled dinner.
Ooh. I'll go first on that note. Glad to be back on YouTube. Glad to be back with the streaming platform and doing it this way. It's only gonna go up from here for Swoop Boys. Just want to say that. Thank you, Rock, for joining the crew. Obviously, we also, as you will see, we plan on getting bigger. We plan on getting better, and we plan on bringing a little more spice.
Oh,
Sneaky. That's all I gotta say, though. Great first pod. We went on a while, but it's because we had fun doing it, and that's all that really matters,
yeah. Hey, and I want to give a shout out to my man Pete Nathan of the Pete Nathan podcast. Definitely I want to say first of all to you, Coach Cozy, and to Swoop Boys gang. Thank you so much for allowing me to come on to your podcast and talk the only thing that matters, that is Eagles football. And I just can't wait for the season to break down the games and any other things as well, man. And of course, and for those that are just seeing me for the first time, and if you're interested in NFL Masala, you can follow our podcast on Google, Spotify, iTunes, and Pocket Cast, or all that stuff.
Nice. Wait, Coach, my bad.
Yeah.
Before you go, I just want to say this because you just reminded me. I looked it up. So, because the cap space was at 28, and then when I looked at it, because I've been looking at it for weeks, so we had 28 this year, and it's still 28. Next year we had 7 mil, and the year after we had like 26. It was in the 20s. Just now, next year we have 14 mil. So whatever Howie did, doubled it, and then in 2026 we have 52 mil. So
and remember that last one is Jay. So Jalen's contract is a lot of front load. We'll have this conversation for another day.
I just wanted to bring that up. It doubled since I last looked at it.
I got you.
Yeah.
So once again, the only man I know who probably has a better camera than I do, because I will be getting a 4K camera. So I'm gonna be on that ass, no diddy. But for everybody who's been on the podcast, once again, thanks for watching. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, comment. Let us know what if there's something y'all want to hear. If there's a certain way y'all want Cozy to dress, let us know.
I'll do it. I'll put on my abaya just for you.
But outside of that, man, we gonna call it a day. It's going on almost 9 o'clock Eastern time, and a boy is hungry.
It's going on
I still
10
got.
o'clock.
Yeah, it's about to be hit. It's about to hit 10. Yeah.
Oh, my fault. I'm on Central, so it's 8:48 where I'm at. But
yeah,
outside of that, folks,